Have you heard of shamanic shame? Shamanic shame. Now, it probably isn't something you've experienced yourself, although if you have, I'd like you to comment and let me know. Shamanic shame, in my mind, is a very real thing. It's a complex, it's a condition, and for some of us, it's almost crippling because it not only challenges your very identity and sense of meaning, but it even robs you of your life force and your purpose, your ability to help and be with others. So I'm going to do a longer video about this, probably right after this, but I'll post it at another time. And I want to summarize the 5 core elements of shamanic shame. The first is cultural conditioning. The second is the issue of appropriation. The third is the need for approval. The fourth is self-doubt. And the fifth is imposter syndrome, which is actually different than self-doubt in this case. So let me run through these quickly, and then if you want to learn more, hey, you can like and follow, and then we'll talk about it later, or you can just ignore this. So the first conditioning we have to recognize is that most of us in the West, and this is particularly, shamanic shame is a very Western, very white kind of thing. And the first layer is that we simply grow up in a culture in which we are told that not only is there no actual spirit world, but to think that you're relating to the spirit world is unsubstantiated and maybe even a little bit crazy. The second dimension of shamanic shame is cultural appropriation, because at this point in history, one of the traditions that has kept the strongest connection to the spirit world and spirit world consciousness and the very ancient practices of shamanism are the indigenous communities. But it is also true that for the last 500 years, indigenous communities have been punished, persecuted, and condemned for shamanic practices, for beliefs in the spirit world. And not only that, but in more recent history, we find that people who are reclaiming their shamanic consciousness have been copying, exploiting, and then selling indigenous beliefs and practices as if they were theirs to sell. And yet, the spirit world exists universally. It's not a cultural phenomena. It's a human phenomena. In fact, I would say it's a more than human phenomena. It pre-exists and predates humanity. But then we have to face self-doubt. So if you can get over the first two things, the next is the need for approval. So then maybe you have this ability, but you're just embarrassed to talk about it, or you don't want people to misunderstand you or misjudge you. Then we go to self-doubt, which is maybe you can get past some of that judgment, but you question whether your gift is as strong as you think or as clear as you think, because let's face it, even for the most gifted, the spirit world is still an immaterial realm that we are relating to through intuition and symbol and different forms of intuitive knowing. Finally, we have imposter syndrome, which is not the same as self-doubt. For me, imposter syndrome comes when you get all the other things looked after and you finally are able to do the work, and then you simply doubt whether you deserve to do it, whether it's right for you to do it, whether someone else should be doing it, that somehow, whether this is just your way of life or whether you're actually using this in your career or helping professions, that somehow you're just not qualified. You're not one of them. Someone else can do it better. Well, it's a lot of stuff to think about, and I wonder who out there relates to this. So why don't you let me know and let's talk about it.